Hello everyone, Cherie Rose from Yours Truly by Rose here. I wanted to get on today and share with you my WIPS and gifts. So these are the gifts that I have been working on for Christmas. That is why it's posted today. And these are the gifts that I have made for people with family, friends, coworkers, that sort of thing. And I wanted to show you everything I've been doing. After that, I will be showing you my WIPs or works in progress that I still have to do. Some are still Christmas presents. I don't have too many more left to do, but I do have some. So let's get started. First, I have this wonderful Happily Hooked magazine pattern. This is a pot holder. It's a very big pot holder. It's for my mother. I'm very excited on how this turned out. Never blocked anything before. It is kind of a little bubbly, but I have blocked it already. Obviously not well, but I'm still learning. And yeah, so this is pretty nice. It's the first time I've done a design in the crochet pattern. The back side doesn't look as pretty. There's, the back stitches and things here with the motif, but you get the general gist of it, and I think it turned out pretty good. Next, I have a pair of fingerless gloves, again, Happily Hooked magazine pattern. These are for my best friend. I made her son a pair, or not a pair, but I made her son a mousse out of this really soft blue material. This yarn is called Ice. I don't remember what the brand of it is, but either way, this is for my best friend. I also have this, again, another Happily Hooked magazine. If you can't tell, I'm a member of the community for Happily Hooked magazine, so a lot of my patterns come from them. This one is a cowl. I used a different kind of yarn that I'm not normally used to. It's kind of stiffer, but it naturally had this kind of bubbling, I guess, effect. So this cowl is for one of my family members. It is for a guy, so I'm hoping that he will like it. But you can kind of see, I really like the zigzag pattern. I just think it turned out really pretty, even for a guy. So hopefully he will enjoy it and wear it, but it's a cowl. And again, it kind of lays funny, but it's still nice. Next, I have to put the clippy still on this, but this is ear warmers for one of my sister-in-laws. This is, I think, really cute. It's the same ball of yarn, which is really neat. So it kind of goes along in the same color scheme and everything here, which I really find enjoyable, particularly to look at, but also it's just kind of fun. And she loves purple, so I feel like that was the best decision. Next, I have this hat for my other sister-in-law, another Happily Hooked magazine pattern. I've never done this kind of border before, but it turned out really nice. Again, it's this variegated yarn, and it comes from the same ball of yarn that I made my brother's hat out of, which is a little beanie. Again, this is another Happily Hooked magazine pattern. And then the other hat that I have, I found this star pattern on the internet. I put a cuff around it, but this hat is for my nephew. So these three items are going to my family. They are all made out of the same ball of yarn, which I find really cool. It started with this green color, and then it moved into this green, a darker green, kind of into a blue. Then we did all this up here with the darker blues and more green, and then the lighter blue, and then I changed into this hat where it goes into the light blue, then the light blue turns into the tan. So I really like using variegated yarn, and I just feel like it's so much fun. And of course I added a little bit of the green into this bow, or this little flower that comes along with my nephew's hat. Next, I have a couple of hats that I made. This one is for my best friend's daughter. This again is another Happily Hooked magazine pattern. It's really cute. I can't wait for her to try it on. It's got a little flower over here, but I love the pattern. It was really quick and easy to make up. It didn't take very long, which is always good. I also have another hat, slightly bigger, for my other best friend's daughter. She loves the color aqua, and I really like how this turned out. It's so pretty, and I cannot wait for her to try it on to see if she likes it and if it fits. That's the biggest thing. This hat I made for my daughter. She's 5, and I use this really pretty yarn. Let me see if I can find where it went. This yarn I used called Comfy Cotton Blend. It's Lion brand, and it is called Blueberry Muffin, which I find very funny. It does look kind of like a blueberry muffin, but it has all these really pretty variations of purple and blues, and then there's cream that kind of weaves throughout. I really found the pattern I think that fits really well with this, and that's, you know, this hat. So I still pulled in some of the colors that, you know, I used a dark purple, which tied in here, a lighter purple, or there's pale plum, and then I have this really, really light purple that almost looks white here for the center. But then I used this variegated yarn, or this woven yarn, to kind of add a little bit more and tie it all together. So I really, really like this yarn. I have 3 other skeins, or skeins, however you say it, of similar color yarn that I have for projects in my WIPS. So we'll see if I get those done before Christmas. Next is a fun pair of gloves. These fingerless gloves are actually for me. I love making new things, but and there's a little end that I need to cut off and weave in a little bit better. But these are for me. I have worn them a couple of times, and I love the reactions that I get when people are seeing me driving around town with them. I think it's funny. But yeah, so these are for me. This is the alligator stitch, or the dragon scale stitch. I call these my dragon scale gloves. Huge Harry Potter nerds, so that obviously was very fitting. Next, I have one of my only amigurumi patterns that I have made, and this is a little head wig. I made this for a colleague of mine. It's the first time I've ever used blush on yarn, so I think it turned out really cute. I was gonna put eyelashes on her, but I was like, meh, I'll just leave her. So if I do it again, which I know I will for me, I'll kind of make it more centered, because right now the feet are kind of off and whatnot, but she does sit on her own mostly. And, you know, I need to pull a little bit more and stuff, because there's, you know, I'm still working on it. But either way, this turned out really cute. And I know that my friend will really like this. Next on the chopping block, I have some more fingerless gloves. I made a whole bunch of these for the teachers at my kiddos' schools. So I have this pair. Let's see, I've got this pair, which I really, really like the pattern for this. It's really thick. And I also have this pair, kind of small but cute. And then I have another pair somewhere. Oh, here it is. I really like the color combo in this. Another star stitch pattern. I love finding things online, on YouTube, and really kind of, you know, expanding my repertoire of stitches and things that I know, but also just in general, learning new things. I love to learn new things. I also have another pair of fingerless gloves. These are going to one of my best friends. They're a little bit baggier, but I really like the yarn that I used. This is a velvet yarn, and it is super, super soft. and really comfy. I might make her a scarf later this year, but we'll see. Don't tell her. Next, I have another beanie, and this actually goes along with two other pieces. So my brother-in-law's cowl, you can see here, it's really, I really do like using up all the yarn I can possibly find. So we started with this green color, and then it variegated into this the other green color, whatever, but then it stopped. And I wanted to use another yarn ball that was a different color scheme, but I still wanted to kind of keep the browns. So I decided to go with this tan, and then I started it here, and I think it actually works really well. I used a lot of the browns and things here to make the pom-pom on the top, and then I moved in with the greens here, and then of course it changed into the blues and to kind of the teal color and the aqua, which I think was really cool. But because I had some left over of the brown, I thought I would make this, and this is a cowl for my husband, my own pattern. I love the texture of it. It is very stretchy, but he hates the cold, so I know that he will be very warm in it. And if he decides he doesn't want it as a cowl, I can cinch up the top and make it a big beanie, which I think would be fine too. But I really like the way that this pattern turned out. It literally is just front loop only, double crochets, and the alpine stitch. That's literally all that this cowl is. But you have the nice variegated green here, goes into the brown. And then again, this color here, the brown or the greens and the blues, and it goes into this. So I love using one ball of yarn for multiple projects. And again, I don't know what the color, I think the ball of yarn, it was a mandala ball, and I think it was called Dragon. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, mandala has wonderful selections of yarn and stuff for anyone really. So next is, and this is not my best work, but it's fun. My uncle is a huge fan of Penn State, so I found some really nice navy, some big twist, varsity navy is the color of this yarn. And then I had some scrap silver. If I did this again, I will make the pen smaller. Again, I've never done any letters or anything, so it kind of came out a little bit bigger than I wanted it to, but it'll still fit his hat, and hopefully it'll still represent him well. And people might ask, oh, what does your hat say? And then that kind of gives him a spark of conversation too. So we'll see. I hope he likes it. All right, next is another beanie. Apparently I had a kick on beanies. This is another one of my original designs, back loops only, or front loops only, sorry, and double crochets, but it's very simple. The texture is nice again, but this is for my best friend's son. He loves black, and I couldn't just give him black, so I had to get one that was kind of a gradient effect, and I think this is the ball of mandala that I used for that. It has a lot of really cool variegated yarn here too, but this ball of yarn is called Happy, which is, oh, Happy Harpy? But yeah, it was just interesting because it doesn't seem happy, at least to me, but it still works well. I haven't decided yet if I was gonna make some fingerless gloves for another member of my family, but I don't know because it kind of goes into the whites, and since it's a male, I was kind of hesitant. So I might wait, and I might start with this end, but who knows? It's still something, and I love these kind of yarns. I really am obsessed with these mandala yarn cakes. Next, I have, this has quite a story. This is for one of my other best friends that had a boy in August. I have yet to meet him because of course, COVID. My mother had started this blanket, I don't know when, years ago, and found it in her stash and was like, I don't have anyone to give this to. My 2 nephews are older, they don't need these blankets. And most of my friends that I have that I know either are done with kids or they have girls. So I said, well, I will get it. I'll take it from you and I'll finish it. So it was really interesting to have this blanket be started by my mother and then finished by me. And she literally had all the ball of yarn and everything still, but not the packaging. But it's just simple double crochet throughout, and it's a car seat blanket, so it's not very big. But when she told me about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I can get this for baby Reed. So that's what I did. I finished this up, and it really is nice because my best friend knows my mother really well, and it kind of, I think, will mean more if it's coming from both of us. So yeah, another fun thing I found out is, again, I know my mother crocheted, but she had never taught me, and it wasn't until COVID started that I was interested in doing it, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I found out that she holds her hook a different way than I do. And when I was doing it, she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm crocheting. And she goes, oh, you hold your hook differently. So you can kind of see a little bit of a difference with the yarn and how the stitches are. But it's, you know, like her stitches are a lot tighter, and then they get over here and they're a little bit bigger. That's just because I'm not used to crocheting with this big, thick, fluffy material. And I tell you what, my hand hurt after I got done with this, and I'm glad I went to the chiropractor. She cracked me back into place with my hand. By the way, recommend doing that if you haven't already. But yeah, so it was interesting. I don't know if I'll ever work with this yarn again. It was fun, but I don't know, we'll see. It was definitely painful at times. And then here is another cowl that I got, or that I made. This, I love the colors. It is so pretty and it's so soft. Again, this is another mandala yarn, and I don't remember what the color of it is. I know I'm a terrible person for not knowing what it is, but I found this pattern on YouTube. And again, going with the mandala yarn, I had this. I started with this color. This is going to my sister-in-law. Then I moved on to the ear warmers with the bow. And then I finished it off using the same for my nephew for his beanie. So this is the leftover yarn for this beanie or whatever with this variegated yarn, which I think is really cool. And then of course, you know, I started with the green for the other from the other skein. So it's just really neat. I love doing this kind of stuff with different kinds of yarn, but this pattern was so much fun to do. It's definitely not boring. But you do have to you do have to actually pay attention to it. It's really pretty, and I love the colors, and these are all my sister-in-law. Like, she loves these kind of colors as well. So that wraps up my finished projects for the 2020 year. So let me get my WIPS out, and I will be right back. All right, so I have gathered up my WIPS, which again is works in progress. And the first things that I'm going to show you is a project that I've been working on for a good while. I started this with, again, my best friend's son, who was born in August. I wanted to do a temperature blanket for him. So I made this piece here for Reed. And it's really pretty. I like the colors. They're very manly, but also bright. And so I did the first hexagon, and these are really big. But I started doing the first hexagon, and I'm like, shoot, I could do this for her daughter as well. So then I started working with another grouping of colors. I'm digging it out here. And I started working with another group of colors. This is for her other daughter, or not her other daughter, her other kiddo. And I really like the colors on this. So I did that one. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make some for my family. So my Tunisian crochet hook is hooked in one of these strings. So then I decided I would make one for my nephew. So this is month 1 and 2 of his temperature blanket, and I really do like the colors on this. It's really pretty. And then I wanted to do one for my sister-in-law. This one is huge. I think she will like it. I hope she will. I know she loves purple, but this is the first month, and then this is the second month. Obviously I need to block this because it's nice and wavy, and go back through and count the stitches and make sure that it's right with the first one. But anyway, so you can see this has been an ongoing project. Then I've made some for my father-in-law. I really like the colors on this. Again, another big blanket. This is his second month. And I do plan on doing a tutorial on these as well, so you can see how I do these. This is for my brother-in-law, month 1 and month 2. I like the colors in this one as well. And then the one that I'm focusing on the most right now is for my mother-in-law. They usually are travelers, and they are not traveling this year, so they obviously are here. And it's cold where I'm in the Midwest, so I wanted to make sure that she was warm. So I started this blanket for her. I have her first month complete. And when I mean by first month, I mean the first month that she was born. I won't tell you what year it is, but she was born. And I try to do the same city that they were born in as well. So she was born again in the Midwest, so her colors are going to be very much vary, I guess I should say. So I've made all of these for her blanket so far. I have all of the centers for her blanket. Like that one's really pretty. So yeah, it's gonna take me a while. There are 13 total that of the hexagons that I will have to make for each of these 7 blankets. I'm hoping to get my mother-in-law's done before Christmas. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll see. But I still have that in my works in progress. And then of course the whole pile of the rest of them, which I'm planning on getting them done at some point this next year in 2021. Yeah, but more on that later. Okay, more works in progress. Matching my daughter's hat, the pattern that the hat came with also had a shrug that came along with it. So I wanted to make a shrug that matched her hat. So I'm still working on that. I don't know if I'll get this done before Christmas, but at least her hat's done, so I can get that done and wrapped. So I really, again, using the same purple colors. I think she will really like this, and it's something nice that she can wear again in the wintertime when she's like in the car seat and that sort of thing, to keep her warm. All right, so that's one of them. I also started, I start to kind of play around with different patterns and stuff that I find on YouTube. So then I grab a ball of yarn and I just kind of start playing with it. So this is one of my works in progress. I've had this sitting in my WIPS box for quite a few months now. This particular WIP is, I don't even remember what the stitch pattern is for this, but either way, it's fun. I plan on making a cowl out of it. I think that's short, and it should work pretty well. Again, it's kind of bumpy and whatnot, but again, I'm learning. I'm trying to find new stitches and things that go along with that. So that's one of my WIPs. It's not so fun to say WIPs. Then I have a blue one, same process. This one is the feather stitch, and it is super thick, and oh my gosh, it is so soft. So yeah, so I'm obviously working on this one. It'll be another cowl, but it's really thick. Like, it gives you a really good thick fabric when you work it up. So that's another one of my WIPs as well. And then I have this WIP. If you can't tell, they're very much colors are very bright. They're Harry Potter-ish. I grabbed, again, I'm a Harry Potter nerd. I grabbed the 4 house colors for the Hogwarts schools and whatnot to make it kind of fun and whatnot. So we'll see. I'm hoping to do another cowl out of this one. The stitches are all fun and they're all different. But again, I just started working on those before I started working on the blankets. And then I was like, oh, blankets, ooh, shiny. So yeah. Next, I have a scarf that I've been working on for me for a while. This is my first ever interlocking Tunisian crochet stitch that I have ever done. It does roll a lot, but I really like this yarn and I plan on just using up this yarn ball. It's really pretty. The pattern itself, it takes forever, but because you have to think a lot, but you start it up, you know, you're working from here basically, or wait, here? No, here. I mean, you make the difference on, you know, where the top and the bottom is. So you work your way up this way. So I'll either make a wrap or a scarf or a cowl or something, but I'm sure I can probably make a scarf out of the rest of the yarn that I have. But it's really pretty. I really like, and then again, this is all one ball of yarn. So again, huge fan of the variegated yarn. And it does look like I literally am stitching little tiny squares on this pattern on this scarf, and I just think that's really cool because it's not, it's just one continuous stitch, but again, Tunisian crochet, so it's a lot tighter and it gives you a really nice soft fabric when you're done. Next is, again, I buy yarn just because it's pretty, so this is the yarn that I bought. It's a jumbo Karen, and then I saw this on, again, YouTube. And I want to make this into a scarf or a cowl. Again, I don't know. It depends. If I get bored with it, I'll finish it up with a cowl. But it'll actually go this way. So it's a good width right now. But yeah, this is just a fun pattern that I saw. I started working on it, and I will probably have this up for sale sometime within the next year, I hope. But yeah, this yarn is super, obviously it's big, it's variegated. But it is called Easter Basket. So maybe by the time Easter hits, I will have this done, but no promises. So those are all the things that I have that are in my current works of progress. I have a product list, I guess, listings of things that I want to do. I try to print off patterns when I find them that I'm like, ooh, this would be pretty. You know, so I've got headbands in my list that would be really pretty. I have this sweater pattern, and some of you might have seen this on Instagram when I posted about it. This sweater pattern was published in 1995. Yeah, so my mother bought this pattern for me, and she was gonna make me the sweater. I bought the yarn and everything, and didn't do it. You know, life got busy, whatever. So she found it, and again, gave me all of her yarn. She had 7 skeins of yarn, and gave me the pattern book. So at some point, when I'm not making a whole bunch of other things, I will take a break from that, and I will absolutely make the sweater for me. But the yarn for it is a little interesting. We will see if I stick with it. Again, this is from 1995. Red Heart Super Saver multicolor. Yeah. It's interesting. Like, this color is called Wedgwood, and she literally got everything in the dye lot. But this color, it's interesting. Pinks, blues, and whites. It's like 4th of July in a yarn ball for pastel. So again, I was like in middle school or in high school when I had picked out these patterns, and you know, it was the 90s. So who knows? Anyway, I do still plan on using the skeins of yarn for these. I think it'll be really fun, and it'll be definitely one of those sweaters that I will have a story for when I wear it out, because you know I absolutely will. But I've never done a sweater before, so I'm kind of excited about that. Another whip that I have, or not whip, but soon to be, is one of these hats, same pattern, but for my other daughter. I don't know what her favorite color is, because again, she's only almost 2 actually at the end of this, at the end of January, she'll be 2, which is hard to believe. But I'm gonna make her a hat to match her sister's. And I found this wonderful comfy cotton blend yarn, Lion Brand yarn. This one is called Flower Garden, and I just feel like it's so pretty. She does like to say the word yellow. So I found this marigold color, or varsity gold is what it's called. And I'm like, I have to use this. And I just figured this would go good with it. I can pull out some pinks and some purples and blues when I make the flower piece. But I think this will be really pretty for her hat and then her shrug when I eventually get to it. But I already have the yarn, and it's just a matter of time of me actually getting it done. Hopefully I'll start this one today. We'll see. No promises though. So other yarn that I have in my stash that I haven't used yet, but I have ideas for, again, using that same mandala comfy yarn or whatever. This is the tweed stripes. So this one, I want to make a hat for me, using this same pattern. I think it's cute, and I really think it'd be adorable if all 3 of us had the same pattern. So I would use this as my hat, and then the turquoisey kind of color I would use for the main part of it, and then have this as the colors. I think it's so pretty. I am super excited to use that. But again, after Christmas, I will have time to do this. And this mandala tweed stripe, Lion Brand again, is called White Elephant. So it's just really pretty. It's super soft, and I'm super excited to see what it looks like in a hat, a scarf, fingerless gloves, whatever. But yeah, I'm so excited to see what this will look like when I get it all worked up. Other things that I have, my mother gave me this wonderful ball of yarn. I think I have 2 or 3 skeins of this yarn. Again, 1990s. And yeah, this is a really pretty yarn. It's called Country Basket Ombre. And it's got, you know, like tans and blues and navies and stuff in it. But again, I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. So we'll see. It's cute, and maybe I'll make, you know, something, a hat or something out of it. I don't know. We'll see. Now, this one, again, another tweed variation of the mandala yarn. This one I wanna make, I really, really wanna make something for my husband, because we all have that kind of tweed, or that, you know, this kind of yarn and all of the patterns and stuff, and I really want us to kind of match a little bit, but I don't know if I can get away with it. This is called Horseshoe. It's super soft, and he loves blue, but I don't know if he loves it well enough to wear it like this. So we'll see. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but either way, I like the colors and they're super soft. So again, I bought it. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, so we'll see. Finally, one of my works in progress is a granny square curtain. I'm still working on this. I have all of these. It's a scrap buster or a stash buster, whatever you want to call it. But I have all these little squares that I'm making. And I do this, you know, when I'm sitting on Zoom meetings or whatever. It's kind of mind numbing. And I can sit there and do this and not, you know, have to count or pay attention and whatnot. So anyway, so this is all scrap pieces that I have been using. And I have all this scrap and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I thought it would be kind of neat to make a curtain for my window over here. So I'm hoping that I'll get this done. It'll take a while, but it's just something that I have. I'm going to have these little squares hanging like this down in rows in front of my window. So we'll see if I get it done. It'll be something that I'll probably do a video on in the future. So other than that, that is it. This is a long video. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, a holiday break, holiday weekend, holiday season, and stay safe and happy crafting. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.